takes a minute for the Instagram. Welcome, folks, if you are seeing us here on our stream. Welcome to the live with Sarah. Hi, everyone. Okay. Hi. All right, we're up, Sarah.
Hey.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good.
Me too. So I want to hear about your stash. We're here obviously to talk about stash. I should do an intro, right? Let me do an intro. Welcome everybody to our stash chat today. I'm Shayna Billow. This is Sarah Divi, and we are going to be talking about stash, about Sarah's stash in particular. This summer, I'm running a Summer of Stash sort of challenge on my emails. So every Monday, I'm sending out an email with a stash prompt and a discount on a pattern. And my hope is that we all knit a bunch of stash this summer and then kick off the fall with some shopping sprees at our favorite local yarn stores. So that's the goal here. But I thought it would be fun to have my friends from the knitting world, so people from the industry, whether they are designers or dyers or authors, come up, or artists like Sarah, come up and share with us what they do with their stash, what their stash looks like, because I just think it's fun talking about yarn, obviously, right? Otherwise I wouldn't have this job. But yeah, so Sarah is an amazing artist and she does phenomenal yarn art installations. You may have seen her incredible work at Vogue Knitting Live in New York City. She did stunning butterfly wings 2 years ago. Last year it was the UFO and the alien, which was amazing. And I would love it, Sarah, if you want to sort of talk a little bit about your work and how you got into this, and then we'll talk stash. What do you think?
I always feel like this is intervention, but it kind of feels like the opposite, really. Like
enabling, totally.
It feels very enabling. Yes. So, hi, I'm Sarah. I am a fiber installation artist. I tend to work really big, like spaces you can walk into and explore and touch and just transform a hallway, a art gallery, a chain link fence, a convention center into a space that you want to touch everything because it's fiber, so you want to touch and pet and like take a picture inside of. And with Vogue, I really tend to do like photo op pieces so that the piece isn't complete until someone steps into it and takes a picture. And I just really enjoy that interactive element because you just see everyone's face light up. Like it just makes watching people interact with it is just really the best part of it. I've also done more experiential pieces where just like giant hanging pom-poms that are like 18 inches big and they all swing in the breeze. And I'm actually next month doing the Fuller Moon Arts Festival in Warwick, New York, and I'm bringing a piece that I haven't shown in 10 years. I'm super excited to bring it out again. And it was originally a knit maze that all the walls were like, imagine a hedge maze, but all the walls are knit.
Oh my gosh.
On giant like size 50 needles, so you can see through everything. So you can see through the entire space, but you can't walk through it until you find the right path.
That's too cool. That's kind of like when I go through my stash, honestly. But so that's going to be in Warwick for a month, or
no, just for a day actually. So I know I'm doing a smaller version, more of like a cave.
Okay, cool.
Like a knitting cave where you can just like climb into and like hang out and like add on to it. I'll just have yarn out for people to like add some stitches in or finger knitted if that's their thing.
I want the details on that because I enjoy going up to Warwick and I would love to come in and go through your yarn cave. So
so how to get into this? So I did actually go to school for art, and I was living with my grandmother at the time, and she was a fantastic knitter. She taught me to knit when I was like 9, but it did not take. And then when I was in college, I was really poor and looking for free art supplies, and I was like, hey, did you know if you pull at this thread of a sweater, it unravels? My grandmother, with all of her patience, was
Oh
like,
my gosh.
"Yes, dear," because she had knit many, many sweaters in her days. I have one or two of them, and so I was like, "Look at all this free yarn." So she taught me to knit again, and that time it stuck. So
Gotcha.
that maze is what I knit for my senior thesis. So I spent almost a year knitting in college, and so really it's just I haven't stopped since then. It's what I go back to every time. And when I had kids, I really had downsized my like all of my art supplies. Um, and knitting was something I could just always take with me,
Yeah.
um, in the car, to the playground, waiting online. Sometimes even while the kid sleeps on me, I can knit. Like,
I did that. Yes.
so really knitting has just been the thing that I keep picking up because like I keep going back to because I can take it. It's portable.
Yeah.
Sometimes, mostly. Some of my projects at UFO, ooh,
Yeah. Or the giant alien. I know.
yeah. Once
So
there's wires involved, it's a lot
yeah,
hard to take with me. But
no
for a
extra.
while, I can take it, pack it with me.
So funny. Oh my God. So I want to hear about your stash because you obviously do huge installation pieces that are stunning and amazing, and you need yarn for that. And then maybe you knit for yourself too. Like, what kind of projects do you
Oh,
tend to knit?
um, so I do for myself. I'm a sucker for sorry, fingering weight shawls, especially like
Mhm.
skein shawls. That's like if I'm traveling, I'll pick up like that's my souvenir yarn, and then I knit a shawl to like or a scarf to remind myself of that trip.
Right.
And then also just because they're portable, I
Yeah.
really yeah. Portability has been really important to me the last few years. Also, memorization is a pattern that I don't. I can
Got
remember
it.
a few rows or like I don't have to use stitch like I don't know. Once they get really complicated, I tend to that doesn't feel relaxing anymore. That feels more like focus projects, which I
Understood.
enjoy,
Yes.
but I need a few of each.
Yes. No,
Um,
same. Totally.
so I there's baby hats, and now my kids need actual hats, so I try and keep them and like gloves and stuff. So I try and keep them in those and um, scarves and those functional things. I used to knit more blankets, but now I'm like I don't know. I'm doing more art again, so there's a balance.
Got
Um,
it.
but art side, I do a lot of. I was doing a big series of street art where, especially during starting in the pandemic, I like in quarantine, I just claimed a section of chain link fence in my neighborhood, and I would just put up different projects each month.
Yeah.
Sometimes seasonal, sometimes it was holiday. There was ice cream. There was a turkey for Thanksgiving. There were fireworks for New Year's, a giant menorah, a Christmas tree, and then I invited other people to come and hang up their own ornaments on the tree.
That's so cool. I saw that on your website, actually. I saw some of the cool chain link fence ones. And there's someone near me that does a little bit of the yarn bombing, yarn graffiti. It's fun. I feel like I should do a little here in my town. Think about it.
It's
Yeah.
really fun, yeah. Because there wasn't this like it took a lot of the pressure off that like I just had to make a piece that could get up and not like it didn't have to be perfect. It didn't have to be I mean, I didn't have to seam everything. Like everything
Right.
could there could be ends to Kant. There could be hot glue. There was a lot of
Yeah.
hot glue involved.
Well, that's fun.
It is.
That is fun. Oh
Um,
my gosh. Yeah, and since it's exposed to the weather, you're kind of putting it out there knowing that it's not going to be pristine forever. So, yeah, that's kind of nice.
yeah, so I do use a lot of acrylic for that.
Mhm.
But this wall, sorry. Now that we can start talking about stuff. So this is all basically acrylic because that is what survives outside the longest, and colors are bright. They for a while they fade, but they still stay bright. And I've actually taken pieces down after um, like 6-8 months. And they still hold together. I've washed them
Oh,
and
wow.
put them away, and then put them up in later years.
That's good to know.
Yeah,
That's very good to know.
get some
Okay.
spiders and stuff. But
Sure. New friends. Totally.
So, yeah, this is a pegboard. Somewhere under here is a pegboard and metal hooks. My husband built the wall for me like 3 years ago, I think. And then there's a cute on my Instagram. There's a cute time lapse of my kids helping me yarn up. Yeah. So I love how it changes depending on what project I'm working on. That like for a while it was all reds, oranges, and yellows, and then I used a ton of them. So now there's just a little bit of those.
Got it.
Same with white, gray, and black was when I was working on the feathers. Sorry, it goes. Awesome. I don't know how much of this is in the frame, but
yeah, I see like pink to yellow.
Oh, okay. It does go from red over there. Oh, hey, alien.
So cute.
To black on that side.
Beautiful. I like that combo there, the pink into the white, black, gray. That's pretty.
And then yeah, below that, here I have baskets where I keep my smaller balls of yarn and random things. I am often gifted random leftover yarn from people. Which I love. I mean, I appreciate it. It's like, hey, someone I know is cleaning out their house and here is a random bag of scraps and I take it and use it somehow. So I have them generally sorted by colors along the bottom. And then on that side, what's here? This is multicolor, and this is little bits of other projects, either test pieces or things that was a heart. Yeah. When I'm testing out shapes and stuff, I'll just kind of tuck them away after, because who knows when I need them.
Yeah.
And so that is on that side. Same thing on that side.
So this is the stash for your art.
Yeah, this is half of the stash for my art. This is most for my art.
Okay.
There is some more.
Of course. No, of course. I wouldn't doubt that. But do you also have stash for personal use that's not the acrylics? And how do you store it? Would you keep it all in the room with you that you are in now?
I do. So if you guys are willing to come sit on the floor with me, hopefully I can make this work. I practice
sitting on the floor.
Move my chair.
I love the yarn wall. It's really beautiful. Okay. So I don't know if you knew this about me, Sarah, but I used to own a yarn store. I mean, I'm sure you've heard me say it, but we had a wall of a certain yarn that we displayed that way, where we had it pegboarded up on the wall in a beautiful rainbow, and it was one of my favorite things to play with and do. But anyway, so
no, I spent some time this morning. I'm going to be totally honest, prep it, like rearranging the yarn to be like, that's not quite the gradient I want. I'd like it to be, I feel like that one's slightly out of place. So
gotcha. Very.
I was like, well, it's gonna be on display, so I need to. Yeah. So
there was a good question that just popped up in the chat. Do you worry about dust or moths having it out on the yarn wall?
Yes. So yes and no. So I only keep my acrylic out. There may be some wool blends in the in these bins, but I don't pre cake my wool yarns. I only do that with my acrylics. So I know that I'm not worried about bugs because it's only acrylic, and also that I try and use the top rows, or make sure I change the top rows as much as possible. That's the yarn I grab first, so that it doesn't have a dust problem. And I've had it for 3 years, I think now, and I noticed dust on top of these bins. Sorry.
Well, yarn itself creates dust. You know, like the fibers shed, and that becomes but
I haven't had a dust or bug problem with those. Down here, there was a bug problem, which is why everything's now in plastic, airtight bins.
Gotcha.
Or I had some cardboard boxes and garbage bags, and like just kind of a mix of like, it's underneath and no one can see it on TV, like on screen. So like, who cares? Turns out the bugs care.
Got it.
So I actually had to heat treat almost like half of my yarn. Yeah, it was a week of just like every night putting some yarn in my oven for like 45 minutes. And then, it was a whole thing. And I seal your yarn up, guys.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Scary. Scary. Every knitter's nightmare for sure.
Yeah. So no one ever asks beyond this. They see the wall and they're like, ooh. And then I'm like, I have more. I'm a little embarrassed about it.
Show us the more. Yes. Well, do it. Yeah. Or maybe like a box. Like,
yeah.
tell us.
So, speaking of stash busting, so this is my yarn scraps. This is just little bits and pieces.
Oh, cool.
I mostly pull it out when I'm in pom-pom modes. But sometimes just to let my kids play with it, and like, or if I just want to look for a color. So this is anything that's like too small and just falls through the cracks of the baskets.
Yeah.
And then I have some cotton yarn, 2 extra acrylics that will go up there when there's and then these are my 2 personal bins of my own yarn. I have, let's see, let's go and pull up. I watched some of your other video interviews, and everyone talks about their yarn. Sorry,
yes.
Cool
yarn.
I keep all of my scraps. This is like all my fingering weight scraps from over the years. Ooh, I have some hand spun for my sister. Oh, I should find her yarn is in. My sister makes her own yarn from her own sheep.
Oh my gosh. Where does she live that she has sheep? Or what area?
In New York.
Okay. Like upstate kind of thing?
Ish, not all the way. She's like south of 87.
Okay.
So, yeah, so she has sheep and goats and chickens.
So cool.
Years ago she started spinning, having her yarn spun, her wool spun into yarn, and now it's super cool because my sister has yarn, like has her own yarn brand from like sheep I've met and like petted.
That is too cool.
So this is a mix of fingering and bulky weight because I can easily tell the difference between those two.
Yes. That's very funny.
See that airtight snap?
Oh, it sounded so good. It sounded like no bugs in there.
And then shout out to my sister Raheli and her Rocket Sheep woolens. So
that's her brand.
That is her brand. I think it's for sale at Beetle and Fred in Beacon.
Oh, fun. Okay.
It's a really cute shop, worth the trip. And I personally know these sheep.
That's so cool.
My nephews named them, so they're named like Blanket and Pillow.
That's really cute. And we've had some comments on Instagram that Trinkle sells little cedar pieces for moths. One thing to know. That's a good tip for everyone. And then Kern is saying spinning is super addictive. Beware. And pom life. Love pom-poms too. Yes, same.
Yeah, I actually have a jellyfish that Kern knit me or crocheted me up on the wall. I have like some of my kids' art and some of my friends' art up around.
That's awesome. Yeah, very cool.
It is awesome. I'm afraid if I take it down, it's not going to go back. Like, yeah. I'm gonna post. Oh, I did post a picture. I'll post a better picture in my stories later. And so yeah, and then the rest of this is art yarn for doing smaller work, which I occasionally do. Like I did a series of minis of my
pieces.
Yeah. So this is with like fingering weight wool.
That is when I saw that piece on the chain link fence, I immediately thought of the swim club in my town because we have a big chain link fence, and I'm like, maybe I should just sit there and knit a the rocket pop for.
I fully support that.
I might do it. I might just do it. That's so cool.
A couple of these I've made for an art gallery, but then brought home with me. So, and I have one giant one that's like 3 or 4 feet tall. That's more the actual size of closer to the size of the original that I put on the fence.
So cool.
So yeah,
So generally, you have it by, let's say your stash is organized by project, let's say, because you've got your art yarns in specific boxes, but also by gauge, right? You have like a fingering and chunky weight box, and you have your little bits and bobs box for your pom-poms. So it's sort of like a project gauge organization.
Yeah.
And fiber.
It starts by fiber. Like there's like above and below for fiber, and then weight. And then color if needed.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that's just,
I love it.
how I think of things. I don't know
And you mentioned at the beginning that your stash size has sort of changed over time, or at least your art supply stash has changed with the changes in your life. Has your yarn stash stayed about the same size? Does it ebb and flow? What
Yeah.
would you say?
So my stash has gone through. I mean, like I originally, when I started knitting, I could keep it in like one under the bed box, like whatever I had left over from college.
Wow.
Um,
Yes.
these days.
Amazing.
Then for a long time, it was in my closet. In those hanging sweater, the
Yes.
sweater bins
The
where it's like
cube.
five shelves.
Mhm.
You like so I organized by fiber and then by weight.
So cool.
And kept it in there, and then like a bag over here, and then a bag over there. Yeah.
All of a
Um,
sudden, yes, it
and
grows.
then during the pandemic, like early days of the pandemic, I was taking, or about a year in, I was taking an entrepreneurial course with my Westchester County, and at the end of it, they gave me a grant to invest in myself, and so that is what led me to finally make this wall and buy the yarn to make the wall.
That's
And it has been amazing. It has absolutely changed my work style, that I used to think about projects for a really long time before I actually get to the yarn store, and then I'd stand there and be like, man, what do I want, and like how much of it, and who knows how long it'll take me to get back here because I have kids. So, and also it's hard to stop and think when like your kids are pulling your hands and stuff.
yes.
So building this wall and having the yarn on hand has like, I have an idea, I can just go grab yarn right away and try it out, test out different colors, test out, do I want 2 strands, do I want 5 strands? And then from there I can calculate like, oh, do I need 3 of each of these colors, do I need 60 of these colors, because that's sometimes the answer. There's a lot of math involved, but being able to jump into a project immediately,
Yeah.
and also being able to keep all of these extras and to play with and mix in textures. That's what the scraps usually become, is like additional textures and details. And that has been priceless. Like,
That's fabulous. That's a really I'm processing what you're saying and thinking about how nice it is to be able to just have an idea and immediately roll with it,
yeah.
rather than either waiting until you can get to the store and working with what you've got there. Like, and I think that is relevant to a lot of knitters too, right? Because sometimes we see a pattern that just came out or whatever, and we were like, oh, I need to knit that right now. And maybe it's 10 at night and you can't get to the yarn store. So you get to go through your stash and try there. But
I mean, it's kind of like it took me a while to realize that it was worth doing, both for the space that takes and for it really overall was not a big investment cost-wise to do that. It was a few hundred, but I had a grant to cover it. So that was steep, but like, not insane. But it was also, I mean, to me, it's kind of like having a box of colored pencils. Like, I was fortunate enough to be able to carve out a space in our apartment. Like, I'm literally sitting on my bedroom floor right now. This is my bed. So like, it's also functional decor. It's decor. Yeah. It's functional. Like, it's so beautiful.
No, imagine waking up to that every morning. It's phenomenal.
I was very fortunate that I could do it, and I'm really glad that I did.
Yeah. And Irina, who I interviewed from Fiber Chats a few weeks ago, had a similar statement that it's like any artist, right, has a collection of paints if they're a painter, or colored pencils if they're, do sketches and things like that. And this is our medium, so it makes sense to have it. And I just love your rainbow. Yeah, I'm just looking through the chats. Aw, it's fabulous to have stash. So,
yeah, it is
amazing. Oh, Sarah, thank you. I'm just checking to see did you have, I know you had posted, there were a couple of questions, but there was one that you wanted to,
Someone asked me about project storage. I'm sorry, I forgot who. So we didn't even talk tools, but I'm a big fan of project bags. So
same.
I have a basket. I'm not going to try and move it. But I have a basket in the corner that my alien's sitting on. And that holds all of my project bags. I love being able to grab something and it has the yarn that I'm using, it has the other pieces I've done, usually it also has the needles that I'm working on. And I can just pick it up and then take it to go. If it's
Wonderful.
my couch, if it's the car, if it's the playground, like
Yeah.
And so yeah, I just live with project bags until they become project boxes or project IKEA bags.
Yeah.
And they just take over a corner of the living room and sorry kids. That's just
and that's for your big pieces, for your
Yeah.
big installation pieces. Got it.
I have a set of a set of wings building. You can't see it's around the corner tucked in, but it's about this big. It's about this big and full of feathers. So, and that was actually stash yarn. I had all these different reds, orange, and yellows. So I took my feathers from Vogue, my wings, and I started doing a Phoenix version.
That's so amazing. That's very cool. Oh my gosh, I have so many more questions for you. Like, I want to know more about maybe we'll do a second interview at some point because I want to know more about your design process and like whether you write things out or if you kind of go free form. I have so many things I want to learn about. But anyway,
I love that video.
Yeah, we'll do another chat. I love it. Well, thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me on. This has been so fun.
It's really cool. And I love your work. I love seeing it, and it's inspiring and joyful, and we can all use some of that in our lives. Inspiration and joy, right? So anyway, well, thank you all for tuning in. Oh yeah, our earrings, right? You're in love.
I'm wearing earrings.
Twins. I love it. Oh, thank you, Sarah. And thanks everyone for tuning in. See you on the next Stash Chat. And check out Sarah's work at sarahdivi.com, right?
Yeah. Although for real, my Instagram's more updated, so
I mean I noticed, yes, but that's okay. But
yeah.
But the website's forever. So,
yeah.
All right. Thanks all. Oh wait, someone asked if they can use raffia for my new bag. I feel like you could, and that would be amazing. Do it. Let's see what happens, Amy. You might need a larger knitting needle. And thank you, Maureen. Yeah, this was a really lovely chat. And Kern, too. Yes, Sarah is amazing. Agreed 100%. We're your fan club here. Anyway, thanks all. Happy knitting.
Bye.